Okay, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody. Ted's sitting this one out. He got a lot out of control last night, so we're sharing a bottle of Tiger. So I'm on my own on this one. But I had a little question, as David Coverdale would say, question for you. This morning on one of the greatest guitar solos of 1980, and 5 stars, first prize Hal McMenemy, who got it. It is Hit Me With Your Best Shot by Pat Benatar. It's on the second Pat Benatar album, and that was, in the last video, that was Neil Geraldo's guitar solo in it. So in the next video, I'm going to play that much slower, which, believe me, will be a lot easier. But this one, I'm just going to play the chords. You look after that, Ted. Okay, song's in E, and it's got 4 block chords: E, A, B, and C sharp minor. So we've got now, you'll notice on the descending line, the chords are muted. So, the first time, they're pretty much full-blooded. But when they come down, it's like this. It's a wee bit different. There's an overdubbed. Which is obviously the same chord, it's the E chord. The same chord, just an octave up. Now, the verses, although they're very simple, I was going to say simplistic, but it's not simplistic, they're very straightforward in chords. Into the chorus. Now, one thing about Neil Geraldo, I've never seen that guy boast, or even to suggest he's a top flight player, which he most definitely is. But one thing that he once suggested made him slightly different was his fastidious attention to timing. His timing is absolutely incredible. So I'm not going to try and play this badly and then say this is not how you play it. But to try and get as close to the way he plays it, it's like this. So you see it's got a groove. Just on the straight, like, ostensibly on the beat chords. And that is the way he plays. And at the end when he plays these lines, which I'll get to later on, you really see him playing along with and in a kind of counter rhythm to the drums. There's a guy called Myron Grombacher. A little bit of background here. Neil Geraldo, as far as I know, he first came to my attention because he came into the Derringer Band, which is one of my favourite bands, maybe my favourite band of all time. And he came in after Danny Johnson, when Danny left to form Axis with Vinny Appice and Jay Davis. Danny Johnson and Jay Davis, by the way, are brothers-in-law. If that comes up in the chase, who is Jay Davis's famous brother-in-law? The answer is Danny Johnson. Right? Okay. So Neil Geraldo came in on keys and guitar, and I have a live CD of him playing guitar with Rick Derringer, pardon me, and he plays keys on one of Rick Derringer's greatest albums, which is called Guitars and Women. There's 2 things that'll cause you trouble, eh? So, he was on Guitars and Women. He then made the move to Pat Benatar's band, and he's kind of been the mainstay, perhaps partly because, they've been married for about 40 years, which I would imagine in the music business is nothing short of a miracle. But he's played guitar on every single song, every single record since day one. And he is, as I say, absolutely fantastic guitar player. This song was not written by them, it was written by a guy called E. Hecht, or maybe gosh, personal pronouns again. Maybe it was written by someone of the female persuasion. I'm not quite sure what their age might be. It might be a girl or a woman, called E. Hecht, H-E-T-C-H, and I don't know, I can't tell you who that is, but anyway, whoever it was certainly got a healthy paycheck for writing Hit Me With Your Best Shot. So, we've got these 4-block chords, and we've got them played like that. If I said play them as assertively as you possibly can, you can't go overboard on this. Now the song almost sinks or swims on the first. You know, it's got to come like just racing out the traps. And then so that's the chords E, A, B, C sharp. It's the opening riff, and that's the chorus backing as well. I'll move on now. The next video I'll play the solo really slow if any of you want to learn it, because it's got so many twists and turns. So I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'd normally say after a drink of tea, but I think it's going to be a drink of Tiger beer with Teddy Boy. Seeing as it's January the 1st, let's hope it's a better year than last year. Although it was a lot worse for a lot of people, I understand, than it has been for me, because pretty much, although you know you miss you know your family and loved ones and people close to you and stuff like that, for 2020, I pretty much stayed indoors and played guitar, which I would have done anyway. So let's hope it's a better year for everybody, and there's a lot more love about. Okay.